Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Rae. I am playing Daisy Hilton in Sideshow in Concert with brief cameo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Johanna Regan Milani, and I will be playing Violet Hilton, the other conjoined twin in Sideshow with Brief Cameo Productions.
So the original production, which opened in 97, they always referred to themselves as freaks and Siamese twins, and it was the freak show. And I think they made a very conscious effort when they did the revision of the script to make it the sideshow and the attractions. I mean, they still said Siamese twins because, that's what they're billed as.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting fine line that you have to walk. Even like official biographies and stuff about them vary wildly. It's like sort of which version of their story did they want to tell at that point?
Okay.
Because, you had the story that their pseudo mother and the man who ended up buying them created for the public. Which, can we talk about the fact that that man's name was Meyer Myers?
That's why he was so angry.
So you have that version of their story, and then you have the version of their life that is sort of told in Freaks, the movie that they end up making at the end of the show. And then there's the official biography, which, again, how much of it is true, how much of it is sort of sensationalism. But in terms,
I haven't done my deep dive yet, but definitely plan on doing that.
But you're right. In terms of the version of the story that the show tells, Daisy is definitely more focused on fame and money and worldly stuff, whereas Violet just wants to settle down and get married.
Violet is definitely the romantic of the two. Her ideal situation would be leaving the sideshow and settling down and just being normal. What her ideal form of normal would be with a husband in a little suburb, away from this, not attracting attention. That's like her dream, but she stays with the sideshow and everything for her sister. So she romanticizes their relationship too.
The sister relationship is so interesting in the show because they are sort of polar opposites, but they keep being given this opportunity to lead their own lives, and they choose not to.
And I think that's probably out of fear. In terms of when you've been told that you're one thing your whole life, and they each have their own dreams for different things, but in their head they know they're most likely not going to get that thing. So it's more comfortable to just stay where they are.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, that they have literally their whole lives have been led for them. They've always been told what to do. They've been under the control of Auntie and then Sir and then Terry. Even then, when he comes in, they're always being told how they should live their lives. So I think if given the opportunity to have that choice, they don't really know which direction to go in.
Then what's interesting is, Violet's relationship with Jake, where he's like, you can choose whatever you want. Why wouldn't you choose to be with me? And she says, no, I don't want the world looking at me like I'm weird. And
she already has enough people looking at her. And back then, there's still all of those racial inequities. And I mean, we still find that today, let's be honest. But I mean, there's all those stigmas, and she's like, I'm already enough of a freak. I don't want to be seen as one, which reading that part in the script broke my heart. I actually don't know how I'm going to get through that part. Can we get to? I'm like, I felt like such an awful person reading it, and I wasn't even reading it out loud. But I mean, like, you have to also understand it's the 1920s.
Right.
We are casting the show pretty non-traditionally.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I am. So it's interesting when you get the licensing materials. It says, we as author, we as a company, support, diversive and inclusive casting, except Jake must be African American and Buddy must be Caucasian.
Yeah.
And we read that and went, well, it says nothing about Daisy, so okay, we're good. Sideshow is a show that Alan and I have wanted to produce since day one. Sideshow is here are the girls, and then there's the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And every year we're like, yeah, but we don't have the girls. We've got insanely talented performers, but we don't have the girls. And then Samantha and Johanna joined us for Drowsy Chaperone last year.
Oh, and which was fun.
So much fun.
And it sort of came down to, okay, who do we have that we haven't utilized a lot? And how do we give them more to do?
Well, I think I was telling you too, like, I appreciate you thinking of me just because, like, I had that moment of, I had never heard of Sideshow, which, I know Brief Cameo does a lot of shows that not a lot of people have heard of, or it's not got a lot of traction. But I had never heard of it before. And then, so I was thinking, oh, his casting a black girl and a white girl. Maybe this is a comedy. But then I looked at it and I was like, this is deeply romantic. And I had that moment of, I can finally be seen as characters who are not of just one color, and it was a good moment for me as an actor of, I'm advancing, and I appreciate you for casting me. And Joanna is great to sing with. I can't wait to see what we do with it. And I already, just from the event that we had previously, there's a magic in the room already.
There really is. There's something so special about singing with you, Sam. Like, from the moment, I think it was like from the moment we did that first rehearsal for our little like, I was like, this is it. I want to sing with her forever.
Yeah, when we're casting things, we like to think, okay, but would this person usually get cast in this role? Mm-hmm. No? Okay, we're doing that. Mostly because, like, I know you guys can do stuff. I want the world to know that you can do things. And sadly, and for reasons that I completely understand, Sam, this is probably the only time you're ever going to get to do this part.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's such a meaty role.
Yeah.
And you get to wrap your vocal cords around another Henry Krieger score that isn't Dreamgirls.
You're right.
Which, nothing wrong with that. Love that show. But
so as far as Brief Cameo Productions, my first role with Brief Cameo Productions was Trix the Aviatrix in Drowsy Chaperone. That was this February in 2025, and we had a ball.
So my first production was also Drowsy Chaperone, where I played
Kitty, just Kitty,
which I had the most fun. I didn't know the show at all before Jim asked me to be a part of it, and I'm just itching to get back into that score as well. But I was first introduced to Brief Cameo when I went to go see their production of Sunday in the Park with George, and I cornered Alan in the lobby, and I talked to him for a good 30 to 45 minutes about how much I love Sunday and how I'm like, if you ever need somebody to be a part of this, like, I'd love to be involved. And then a couple years later, here I am.
So, Samantha, you and I did Color Purple together, which Alan was the sound designer on. And he got into town from Wisconsin, came to tech rehearsal, and I pulled him aside and I said, wait until you hear the first woman sing in this show.
I was so flattered.
and you did the church thing, and he did that thing where he grabbed me with that giant hand of his and went, we need to put her in something. We need her in something. What do we do? And Johanna, you and I did the Christmas show at Iverton last year. And this is no secret because we announced other people. You were the third kitty.
Yep. I have no problems with it.
Because people, got booked, and which is great. But, we had done the Christmas show and we needed to fill in the role. And Johanna is awesome to work with, and I know she can sing, and she's funny, and there we go. Not knowing that you were that person who had talked to Alan after Sunday. So he missed the champagne toast after the show, and I was like, where were you? He was like, there's this really nice woman, kept talking about how she wants to be part of the company, she wants to do Light in the Piazza, and I don't remember her name because post-show, who remembers anything? I said, cool, I'm sure she'll be back, and never connected the two dots. And here we are.
I'm so glad that it worked out the way it did.
It was meant to be.
There is a lot of it was meant to be with this company.